Hazal Kaya has finally spoken, and what she shared about the making of Eşref Rüya has everyone buzzing. You're tuned into Secrets Behind the Stars, where we bring you the whispers, the truths, and the vibes that never make it into the press kit. Before we dive into everything Hazal revealed, from the spark between her and Çağatay Ulusoy to the atmosphere pulsing through the set, take a second to subscribe and stay with us, because tonight's story has the texture of real life. Warm, messy, generous, and impossible to fake. It started simply, with Hazal stepping in front of a camera after a long day of shoots and deciding not to hide behind PR-safe answers. She spoke about the rhythm of the set, the way each day begins with quick glances, a few inside jokes, and then that quiet shift into focus. She talked about Çağatay like someone who knows his rhythms by heart, not just a co-star, but the person whose presence lights up a room for her. And then she addressed a topic fans have been obsessing over, the team dinner she didn't attend, the one that sparked a flood of speculation. Everyone was there, she said with a smile that felt sincere and unhurried, but I couldn't make it. I had already planned a short trip abroad with my sister. It wasn't about work, it wasn't about tension. It was personal time I promised long before. If not for that, I would have been at that table laughing with the rest of them. Those words landed because they sounded like the truth, no spin, no deflection. Hazal's fans know she guards her private life with care, yet she never turns it into a mystery. That balance, intimacy without exposure, is the same balance you feel on the set of Eşref Rüya, where professional discipline and everyday tenderness live side by side. And at the center of it all, anchoring the mood, is the partnership between Hazal Kaya and Çağatay Ulusoy. Hazal described what it's like to work with him now, years after they first learned each other's timing on camera and off. We trust each other, she said. He keeps it calm when the day gets noisy. I push us to explore when the scene asks for more. It's a good dance. Then she widened the lens to the whole team. You feel it everywhere, from sound to makeup to lighting, that sense that everyone's not only capable, but present. It's a crew that shows up. That creates its own kind of magic. We've all seen the photos, the quiet snapshots of Hazal's hand on a script while Çağatay leans in, a night shoot where he throws his coat over her shoulders between takes, her leaning into him, laughing at something he muttered off the mic. These aren't staged shots, at least, they don't look staged, and they tell the story of two people who are serious about their craft and generous with each other. Fans save the posts, zoom in, repost, and argue about the moments nobody else noticed. Did you catch the way she looks up when he steps into frame? Did you notice how he checks her mark before he hits his? That kind of attention gets rewarded in the footage. It hums on screen. But Hazal was careful to talk about the wider web, too, the place where camaraderie becomes momentum. She described a set that doesn't crack under pressure. No grudges, she said. No sulking. If someone is having a rough day, we lift. It's not sentimental, it's practical. That's how you get the work done. She made it clear she admires the crew as much as her cast. Everyone here is sharp. Everyone listens. That's rare. And about that dinner, the one that got turned into a mystery, Hazal told the story without drama. The plan was simple, a casual gathering to mark the end of a stretch of night shoots. She was already booked to fly out for a brief family trip. The rest of the team met up, raised glasses, told stories that stretched the truth in the funniest ways. Photos surfaced, Çağatay in a low-key sweater, a few crew members with their arms thrown around each other, the glow of warm bulbs catching the table's scattered plates. Hazal responded from abroad with a playful comment under one of the posts, something like, "Save me dessert," and sent a short voice note to the group chat. People took screenshots and spun entire tales out of a simple scheduling conflict. That's the internet. But it wasn't the truth. Her explanation matters because it reveals what's really happening behind closed doors, an environment where the work comes first and kindness is currency. If you've spent any time tracking their careers, you know that both Hazal and Çağatay are allergic to chaos. They don't feed the machine that thrives on friction. They keep their heads down, do the scene, and then let the audience feel the ripples. And the scenes, from what we hear, are electric. She described one moment when a tender exchange wasn't landing. "Too clean," she said. "We needed a crack." So they stepped away from the monitors, took a walk down a dim corridor behind the soundstage, and traded little memories, unspectacular, everyday things you only share with someone you trust. When they came back, the moment breathed. That's the kind of detail you can't fake. Between takes, the tone is lighter. Picture this: Hazal in worn-in slippers, clutching a thermos of something hot, Çağatay aiming a tiny spray bottle at a stubborn cowlick in his hair, both grinning when the assistant director calls places. There are birthdays on set, and everyone knows who is obsessed with cake and who needs a plate of savory bites first. There's good chemistry with the camera, yes, but there's also easy chemistry at the craft table, a kind of domestic peace that lives alongside the high stakes of filmmaking. Social media tells its own story. Hazal posts sunstruck Polaroids from her phone, corners curling, backs of heads in frame. He shares a video where the dolly snakes through a corridor, landing on her face as she pivots and the scene snaps alive. Comment sections erupt with theories, inside jokes, declarations of love for the ship that never seems to sink. The numbers climb. The clips get clipped again, cross-posted, subtitled by fans in languages the team doesn't even speak. That's reach. That's heat. Underpinning all of it is a work ethic that doesn't blink. Hazal used a phrase that stuck with us: "We're generous with preparation." It means knowing your lines and your partner's cues. It means staying late not because someone told you to, but because you can see the gap and you want to fill it. On Eşref Rüya, that generosity reads as calm. No one sprinting at the last minute. The days might be long, they're always long, but the machine runs without grinding its gears. Fans notice the shift over time, too, how this project feels different from the noise of other productions. Maybe it's the story they're telling, or maybe it's the way they're telling it. With patience, with attention, with a refusal to chase empty spectacle. Hazal's words confirmed that instinct. "We're protective," she said. "Not just of each other, but of the work." That's the promise we made when we started. We heard about pranks, yes, but they aren't the cruel kind. Someone taped a tiny photo of Hazal's favorite childhood cartoon inside a prop drawer so she'd find it mid-scene. Another day, a small bakery box appeared with her name on it, and inside was the exact pastry she had mentioned offhand a week before. No one confessed. That's how you know it wasn't for credit. It was for her. When it was his turn, she paid it back, a battered novel with a handwritten note nestled between pages that smelled faintly of coffee. This is love language, sure, but it's also the language of a cohesive set. The series has found its foothold in the industry for reasons that go beyond star power. It's the rare project where the machinery of production folds neatly into the heartbeat of a story. Ask around and you hear the same refrain: solid leadership, clear direction, and two leads who know how to carry the weight without making it look heavy. Hazal calls it grace under lights. You can see why fans are attached. And yet, because this is show business, the myth of tension always lurks. Miss one dinner and suddenly you're feuding. Take a weekend off and you're plotting an exit. Hazal's calm explanation cuts through all of that. She didn't dodge. She didn't point fingers. She just told the truth. She was away with her sister, she wished she could have gone, and she'll be at the next one. It was human. It was enough. What came through most in her remarks was gratitude. She thanked the crew more than once. She thanked the audience without turning it into a performance. She thanked the hours of rehearsal that nobody sees and the small triumphs that rarely make a headline. You build trust day by day, she said. You earn it with consistency. And when the camera rolls, you feel it. From the outside, we piece together a mosaic: the stolen glances, the long tracking shots, the voice notes traded at odd hours, the rehearsal videos with bad lighting and honest laughter. Inside, it is simpler. Two people in sync, and a team that holds them up. That's the pulse of Eşref Rüya right now. That's what Hazal wanted people to understand. So if you're wondering whether her chemistry with Çağatay is just nostalgia or a living, breathing force, She answered that too, not with gossip, but with the way she spoke. There's ease in it, and respect, and a kind of joy that refuses to act like joy. It just shows up, quietly, and does what it does. As for what's next, Hazal hinted at more dinners, more late-night script sessions, more moments when art and life blur at the edges. We're here, she said. We're committed. We're having fun. The cameras will keep rolling. The posts will keep multiplying. And the project will keep growing into the space the audience keeps making for it. We'll leave you with this: the story behind the missed dinner wasn't a scandal. It was a woman keeping a promise to her family, and a team that understood. It was a partner who carried the toasts that evening and sent her photos, and a cast that saved her a seat in spirit. It was grace, and trust, and the kind of bond that makes scenes feel lived in rather than performed. You've been watching Secrets Behind the Stars. If this glimpse into Hazal Kaya's candid truth from the set of Eşref Rüya pulled you in, tap like, write us your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss our next deep dive. Tell us in the comments. How much do you think the connection between Hazal and Çağatay shapes the soul of this series, and how far can that energy carry it? We'll be reading everything. See you in the next video, and Happy New Year!